and welcome back to Newfoundland and Labrador Studies 2205. I'm Miss Fleming, and this is Unit 2, The Roots of Our Culture, Section 5, Lesson 6, on the bank fishery and other exports. The original bank fishery is probably the oldest European fishery off the Newfoundland and Labrador coast, fished by the French, Spanish, Portuguese, and possibly English right from the 1500s. The English fishery soon became a shore-based operation during permanent settlement, of course. The English bank fishery began in the 1720s in response to smaller catches with the inshore fishery. The Labrador, seal, and inshore fisheries showed early signs of decline throughout the 1800s, and in an effort to stimulate the economy, the government of the day encouraged fishers to expand, and people traveled to the Grand Banks. Let's talk about how it was done. The bank fishery typically ran from March until October, but fishing schedules varied amongst the communities. For example, fishers living on the northeast coast would wait until April or May due to the ice. Vessels made 3 or 4 trips to the banks each season, remaining in the area for weeks at a time. Crews would anchor their ships in a favorable location and launch 2 to 3 man dories to do the fishing. Fishing was done with hand lines, jiggers, and trawl lines. The dories would leave the ship in the early morning and return multiple times throughout the day to unload. They also gutted, split, and salted their own fish. This fishery came with many risks. There are many dangers that came with being further off the coast for extended periods of time. Gales and rough water threatened schooners and other vessels, while dories risked getting lost in the fog or sudden storms. Larger ocean liners could easily capsize and run over dories. Living quarters were also very cramped, and any injured or ill crew members had to wait until fish was brought to port to receive medical attention. Finally, let's talk about the decline. The fishery was profitable throughout the 1880s and peaked in 1889, with 4,401 fishers employed, harvesting more than 13,230 tons of cod, which is approximately 120,000 quintals. The bank fishery produced an inferior grade of fish, fetching lower market prices, and was further devalued by competition from Norway and Iceland. The industry declined in the 1900s, and by 1920, many communities stopped participating in the bank fishery. There were other exports harvested from Newfoundland and Labrador other than cod and seal. These exports included salmon, lobster, herring, capelin, and squid. Many of these exports found bars in France, Canada, the United States, and Great Britain. While their amounts could not compare to salt cod, these exports were profitable for the fishers who harvested them, especially herring, and now the crab and shrimp fisheries are still profitable today, which started later in the 20th century. So now it's time to review. I'm going to ask you to complete the activities in Brightspace, including the last Fishery Facts graphic organizer, and I hope you have a great day.